Hello everyone, good morning. Thank you for joining me today. I'm here to talk about what I call the sustainability dilemma, the fundamental contradiction at the heart of international tourism governance in the Anthropocene epoch. This is not just another study about making tourism greener. This is about whether our current governance institutions are structurally capable of preventing tourism from driving planetary collapse. Let's begin. Here's the dilemma in three parts. First, exponential growth. Tourism reached 1.5 billion international arrival by 2019, projected to hit 1.8 by 2030. This makes it one of the world's fastest growing economic sector. Second, planetary boundaries. Tourism contributes 8% of global carbon emission, consume massive amount of water in already water scarce region, and drive the biodiversity loss in fragile ecosystem. Third, the SDG paradox. SDG 8 promotes tourism for economic growth and job creation, where SDGs 13 to 15 demand climate action, marine protection, and terrestrial ecosystem conservation. These goals are fundamentally incompatible under current growth paradigm. So the core question is, can international tourism governance reconcile economic growth imperative with ecological limit and social justice in the Anthropocene? To answer this, I employ two theoretical framework: regime complexity theory to analyze the fragmented institutional landscape, and the planetary boundaries framework to establish geophysical limits. Empirically, I conducted systematic document analysis of international governance instruments from UNWTO, UNEP, UNESCO, and others from 2015 to 2024. And critically, I examined three Indonesian case studies: Bali over tourism crisis, Komodo National Park conservation conflict, and Lake Toba's indigenous right violation. This case reveal how governance actually operates on ground. What I found is deeply fragmented governance complex. Over 15 institutions all claim authority over tourism sustainability, but with overlapping mandate and no coordination mechanism. This creates three critical failures. One, institutional fragmentation allows states to engage in forum shopping, choosing venues that favor economic growth over environmental protection. Two, voluntary commitment. There are no binding enforcement mechanism. Guidelines and declarations are systematically ignored without consequences. Three, industry capture. UNWTO and WTTC prioritize industry interests over ecological limits, while corporate lobbying systematically weaken environmental standards. The result, a race to the bottom where economic goals override ecological imperative every single time. Now let's talk about Indonesia. Let me show you what this look like in practice through three Indonesian cases. The first one is Bali. Despite government rhetoric about sustainable tourism, Bali faces severe water scarcity. Tourism consumes 65% of groundwater. Cultural erosion and ecosystem degradation are rampant. Yet, international arrival continue to grow unchecked because there are no enforceable carrying capacity limits. Voluntary sustainability commitment are simply ignored in favor of revenue maximization. Komodo National Parks, the UNESCO World Heritage Site, come home to endangered Komodo dragon, is threatened by government plan for luxury resort. UNESCO issued warning and even considered endangered listing, but this have no binding force to halt construction. International conservation norm lack enforcement power against national development priorities. Lake Toba, the government designated this as super priority tourism destination, but systematically excluded indigenous Batak communities from decision making, violating free, prior, and informed consent principle. With bank funding, proceeded anyway, despite inadequate safeguard. FPIC remain aspirational rhetoric without binding implementation. Here's the common pattern. International government institutions can issue guideline, warning, and recommendation, but they cannot legally prevent state from prioritizing economic growth over ecological limit and social justice. These are not value of implementation. It's a value of by institutional design. So what's the alternative? I propose a stewardship-based governance model built on three transformative pathways. Pathway 1, planetary boundaries as hard limit. Operationalize planetary boundaries framework as legally binding constraint on tourism development, replacing aspirational sustainability rhetoric with enforceable biophysical limit. Pathway 2, from voluntary to binding regulation, shift the government architecture from soft law and voluntary commitment to binding international convention with enforcement mechanism and sanction for non-compliant. Pathway 3, justice-centered governance. Center equity and justice in governance through mechanisms that address power imbalance, ensure community rights, and distribute tourism benefit fairly. This pathway translates into 13 concrete policy recommendations across 4 stakeholder groups. As one for the international organization, there are 3 policy recommendations: mandatory sustainability reporting framework with binding disclosure of planetary impacts, independent scientific panel model on IPCC, free from industry influence, strengthen UNESCO enforcement with binding authority to harmful enforcement. For the national government, science-based carrying capacity limit with dynamic pricing mechanism, mandatory FPIC for all tourism projects affecting indigenous communities, national carbon budget for tourism sector, tourism-free protected zone in coal conservation areas. For the tourism industry, there are 4 policy recommendations: science-based target for verified net zero emission pathways, full supply chain transparency with public disclosure of environmental practices, 20% revenue sharing with local and indigenous communities via trust fund, regenerative tourism business model with net positive ecosystem input. And the last but not the least is for the civil society, technology enable monitoring system for real-time tracking of tourism impact and public education campaign on tourism footprint and responsible travel choice. So, let me conclude with this. We face a choice between 2 different paths. First one, business as usual. It means continued fragmentation, voluntary commitment without enforcement, accelerating transgression of planetary boundaries, deepening inequities, where the global south bears the cost while the global north extract the benefit, irreversible degradation of World Heritage Site, and ultimately, tourism becomes a driver of ecological and social collapse. Or we choose transformative shift, unified governance with binding accountability, science-based limit enforced through international cooperation, tourism operating within planetary boundaries while restoring ecosystem, justice-centered governance, equitable benefit distribution, genuinely safeguard protected areas, and tourism as a model for planetary stewardship in Anthropocene. Is the critical point. The current regime is structurally incapable of resolving this dilemma. Decisions made in the next 5 years will determine which path we take. Incremental adjustments are insufficient. Only bold, transformative action can shift the trajectory from collapse to stewardship. The choice is ours, but the time to choose is now. Thank you. I welcome the question.